Let's talk about something that's become a huge modern health challenge, but it's one that a lot of us don't even know is happening. It's called chronic inflammation. We're going to dive into how this silent fire could be quietly impacting your brain, your body, and your whole life. So let me ask you this. Do you ever struggle with brain fog or just that feeling of being tired all the time? What about those nagging joint pains? It's so easy to just shrug and say, I guess this is just part of getting older. But what if it's not? What if those are actually signals your body is sending you about something deeper going on? The best way to think about it is like a silent fire smoldering inside your body. You can't see it, you can't really feel it. It's just this low-grade, quiet burn that goes on for years. And it's doing damage long, long before you ever get a diagnosis for something serious. Okay, so let's pull the mask off this thing. What exactly is chronic inflammation? Because it's really, really important to know that not all inflammation is bad. There's a good kind, and then there's the bad kind. And you can see the difference right here. On one side, you've got acute inflammation. That's your body's 5-alarm fire response. You twist your ankle, it swells up, gets red, and your body rushes to fix it. It's fast, it's obvious, and it's over in a few days. It's a good thing. But then there's its sneaky cousin, chronic inflammation. This is totally different. It's a low-grade, hidden fire that just burns on and on for months, even years, slowly breaking down your tissues instead of healing them. So how in the world are you supposed to know if this is happening to you? Well, the signs can be super frustrating because they're kind of vague, right? We're talking about that persistent brain fog, being tired all the time no matter how much you sleep, mood issues, digestive problems, aches and pains that just don't go away, even skin issues like eczema or acne. And here's the kicker. Some research shows that if you're nodding along and you have 6 or more of these symptoms, there's a really good chance your lab work would show elevated inflammatory markers. And look, this isn't just about a few people feeling a bit off. This has become a full-blown modern epidemic. We need to understand why it's happening so much right now, because that's the key to figuring out how we can fight back. You know, our modern world has basically created the perfect storm for this to happen. Our diets are packed with ultra-processed foods that our bodies barely recognize as food. We sit way more than we move. So many of us are living with chronic stress, that feeling of always being on. And our sleep, it's a mess. All of these things are literally the fuel for that internal fire. And the fallout from this is, well, it's staggering. We're not just talking about feeling a bit tired. More than 130 different diseases, including Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, and even cancer, are now directly linked back to chronic inflammation. It's like the common root cause of so many of the illnesses we fear the most. Let's just put some numbers on this to see how real it is. Get this. A whopping 40% of dementia cases are now thought to be preventable. And a huge piece of that prevention puzzle is getting that brain-damaging inflammation under control, starting decades earlier. Or how about heart disease? This is just incredible. 50%, half of all heart attacks happen in people who have high levels of something called C-reactive protein, or CRP. And what is CRP? It's a major marker of inflammation in your body. It's a massive risk factor that's so often overlooked. And when we look at type 2 diabetes, the numbers are just jaw-dropping. Somewhere between 80 and 90% of cases are preventable through lifestyle changes. And what are those changes doing? They're targeting and stamping out chronic inflammation. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty bleak, but here comes the good news, and honestly, it's fantastic news. You have way, way more power over this than you think. So let's shift gears from the problem to the solution. I absolutely love this visual because it just makes it so clear. Yeah, sure, there are things that are harder to control, like your genes or the fact that we're all getting older. But just look at that list on the left. Your diet, your gut health, your blood sugar, your fiber intake. These are things that are 100% in your control every single day. And get this, making the right changes here can cause those inflammatory markers like CRP to drop by 30 or 40% in as little as 6 to 8 weeks. That's amazing. This quote just says it all perfectly. Genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger or keeps the safety on. Your DNA might set you up for certain risks, sure, but it's your daily choices, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, that decide what actually happens. You are in charge of whether that trigger gets pulled or if you keep the safety on. So, where do we even begin? Well, the single most powerful tool you have to douse that inflammation is right at the end of your fork. Let's talk about how to fight fire with food.
This here shows a connection that is absolutely crucial to understand, the gut-brain immunity triangle. Something like 70% of your entire immune system lives in your gut. So when the lining of your gut gets damaged and becomes too permeable, what some people call leaky gut, it's like the security system has been breached. Little particles of food and toxins sneak into your bloodstream where they don't belong. Your immune system sees them, freaks out, and sounds the alarm, which triggers inflammation all over your body, including your brain. This is why sometimes the very first sign that something's wrong in your gut is brain fog or a change in your mood.
So step 1 is simple. Stop pouring gasoline on the fire. The biggest culprits here are probably no surprise to you. We're talking about sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, refined carbs like white bread and pasta, processed meats, those artificial trans fats you find in a lot of fried and packaged foods, and getting way too many industrial seed oils. But let's not focus on what to take away. Let's focus on what to add. These foods are basically your body's fire department. Think of wild-caught fatty fish like salmon, which is loaded with omega-3s that your body literally uses to create anti-inflammatory compounds. Dark leafy greens and all those colorful berries are packed with antioxidants. And then you've got amazing spices like turmeric, which has curcumin, a powerhouse inflammation fighter. These foods don't just avoid the problem, they actively help put out the fire. So, as we wrap this up, the power is truly back in your hands. You know about the silent fire now. You know what fuels it, and you know the tools to fight it. So the real question isn't whether you can do something about it. The question is, what's the first change you're going to make? What's one step you can take starting today to begin putting out your silent fire?